Shut up,
Yeah.
Jet.
Technically.
Fucking
Yeah.
Jet.
Yeah.
Shut up,
In
Jet.
court of law, all words are made up.
Fucking Canadians.
Oh, man. Well, we'll just talk through that since the title wasn't changed. That's all right. If you're joining us, that is ITL starting out with you with some false pretext, but this is Into the Lab Season 2, Episode 21. We'll talk a little James Harden if it comes up, but we're past Divisional round. We
I
are
love this
definitely in
show.
the championship round. I'm your host, Ernest Silva. It has been one of those weeks, but I'm very excited to be here, your host or your favorite host, hopefully, in the beautiful home studio or what's left of it in San Antonio, Texas, as I'm moving out of this place. Welcome, and we are excited to be talking with everybody. Lots of great content. You can follow me at Into the Lab Pod or at Doc E Future PhD. Tons of stuff to go over. Not really. It's going to be a real short episode, but this is brought to you by the mothership, Blue Collar Media Group. You can find their website, all of our sports articles, podcasts, and streamers, www.bluecollarmg.com. That's where you can find that content and getting a new look. So take a look at that in the incoming weeks. We have a lot of stuff going on. But of course, we have a featured sponsor for tonight, which is www.thrivefantasy.com. Go place those special prop bets. Go place them this week. And guess what? Patrick Mahomes is going to play. So that's even more news coming at you. But first, announcer, bring us in right. All right. From Pittsburgh, co-host of the Puckleheads podcast and co-founder of the Blue Collar Media Group, Twitter handle at Steel Curtain PEH, Just Paul.
Glad to be here tonight, guys. No, we're not going to talk about it, so I'm going to say it right now. NCAA basketball, get your life together. You cannot make the tournament on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I can easily call in sick Wednesday, Thursday, but to go through the whole weekend is going to be a problem. So get your life together. Get it back to normal.
Absolutely agree, NCAA basketball. You heard it from Paul himself. Let's talk about some more people that are joining us today from Regina, from the Frostbite Sports Podcast at Frostbite Pod, Jet Folk.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Just wanted to give a shout out to Phil Rivers. That was a solid career. Appreciate that year that he gave to the Colts. And, I hope he has fun coaching.
Awesome. From Wagner, co-captain of the BCMG Stream Team and college football expert or college sports in general at DDog_1123, Davis Cordova.
Yo, what's up, guys? Just started classes yesterday, so we're a little tired, but we'll push through.
Thank you, Davis. The man from
started classes?
just a bit outside. He's joining us at Josh Elliott 9. Josh Elliott.
How's it going, guys? Feels great to be here. Running a high energy today because George Springer signed with the Blue Jays. Good news, and we ain't done yet. So excited for the episode.
He's 31 and signed a 6-year contract. Good luck with that 3 years down the road, Josh.
I mean, David Ortiz did it till he was 41.
I mean, don't get me wrong, though. George Springer, amazing. You're going to have so much fun with him. We get to postseason Springer's even better. All right, let's talk about the model himself. He's joining us all the way from New York, Sam Hiller.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I've actually made my way down to Washington, D.C. now, even though I'm
it's safe.
Yeah, I'm in a safe part of it. I'm keeping my eye out, but I think it's a lot of, hubbub for nothing. I don't think anything's going on around here. It's great to be back. It's great to be talking to you guys again. I'm ready to talk about the conference championship and hear what you guys have to say about all the other stuff going on this week. So let's get to it.
We're very excited to have you here. You're going to be representing the Source podcast, which comes up with our model. We call you the model because you're the brain. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Shout out to my
absolutely
my co-host Joe, who could not be here today.
Yeah, soon enough, Joe will be back. Let's talk about two of the sweetest voices we have left. What about starting with the sweetest voice of ITL from El Paso, but coming out from San Antonio, the voice of ITL at SweetPeach4_, Ashley Garcia.
So glad to be back again, Ernest. I'm excited to get down to business regarding our NFL teams, starting with our championship right around the corner.
Yep, Ashley is hyped because she went 4-0 last week and blew everybody away. except for Davis. And I think it was Paul that went 4-0 also. So 3 of them representing, they're coming back again. So thank you guys. But of course, my co-host, the man from Slightly Biased, co-founder of the Blue Collar Media Group, getting in fights all over Twitter this week at Reisner_Steven, the General, Steve Reisner.
Well, I actually thought you were introducing me twice before. I thought when you said the model that you were talking about me.
Oh my gosh.
And then I thought when you said the sweetest voice, you were talking about me. So, yeah, you got me all hyped up there. Now I feel like I'm letting them down.
Sorry, Steve, not this time. And I know I have your semi-divided attention tonight as the Celtics are playing right now. So I apologize for splitting your interest tonight.
Yeah, I wonder if I can get that on my phone.
Let's talk some basketball and some football. We have a 2-round segment. It's going to be a quick episode. We aren't lying this time. This is going to be one of our quicker ones. Round 1, we're going to talk some Phillip Rivers, do a little bit of a toast to him. Inauguration day, so a big day for the United States of America as Biden and Harris have officially taken office. So very excited about that. That's not what we're covering, but we're going to talk some NBA hoops and some COVID that's going to be tied into that. Round 2 is our postseason pick'em. 2 games this week. It keeps getting smaller and smaller, but we are hyped. Sam here to represent the model. So stay with us, folks. Announcer, let's ring the bell and let's get things started off again the right way. That's the bell in round 1. We are here for the action around the NFL. And the news is Phillip Rivers is retiring after 17 seasons in the NFL. The man who chugs a beer as well as throws a football at the same motion is gone. Now, him and his 17 kids are going to be enjoying as many years as he has kids. His wife is going to be enjoying him at home. But guys, Phillip Rivers, I'll open up the floor with this. Hall of Fame or not Hall of Fame?
He's going to get in, but I really don't know if I like calling Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer. His passing yards, his touchdowns are top 10 all time, so he's going to get in. But you have to think about the era that he played in. Because, he has more passing touchdowns than Dan Marino all time. Is Phillip Rivers a better quarterback than Dan Marino? If you tell me he is, then I'm going to slap you in the face. But I don't know. To me, Phillip Rivers was a pretty good, far above average quarterback for a long time. The Hall of Fame is about immortalizing the greats. I don't know if I can immortalize a guy that was never an All-Pro, never an MVP, never even really in the MVP conversation, never in the Super Bowl, never a big playoff performer. Most notable thing really, let's think about it, guys. We all jabbed him. He was pretty good, but really, we got to tell Phillip Rivers stories like that, like later on to our kids, like, oh man, Phillip Rivers, he got the ball in the fourth quarter, man. And you just knew that he was going to throw some weird sidearm pass right to the defender.
The only story I'm going to be telling my kid about Phillip Rivers is how fucking awkward he throws a football. That is the only thing he's going to know about Phillip Rivers.
Here's my thing about Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame. I feel like if you're going to put my thing with him is you have to make it a caveat. And that is, and it's going to sound weird coming from me as a New York Giants fan, but if you put Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame, you have to put Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame. That's my personal opinion. Eli's
going in as well.
He's going, and I don't think for the record, I don't think Eli's a Hall of Famer, which a lot of people will get pissed off at. But the fact of the matter is, we had a top 3 defense both years we won the Super Bowl.
Whoa, that's a hot take, though. That's a hot take, Sam.
I've had this take forever. I'll keep it.
And he was in the grasp that play.
And he was in the grasp. Listen, I'm not denying.
Oh my God, a Giants fan said it.
Yeah, listen,
Giants fan said it.
I'm not going to say that he hasn't come up incredibly clutch for us.
The year.
He came up incredibly clutch for us. He's done great things for the New York Giants. But as you said, the Hall of Fame is about immortalizing the greats who changed the game. Eli Manning was – can we argue that Eli Manning was ever a top 5 QB in the NFL while he was playing?
That's my other thing with
while
Phil
he was
Rivers.
Playing, not top 5.
That's what Phil Rivers. I understand that he played in an era where you had Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Breeze. But Phillip Rivers was maybe – the 5th best quarterback in the NFL most of the years of his career.
With Eli, Ernest, I kind of look at it like this personally. So if Eli Manning's getting in pretty much primarily on his 2 Super Bowls,
I think Phillip Rivers is also getting in, though he doesn't have Super Bowls, because he's fifth in pretty much every quarterback category.
Way better
And
numbers.
I look at both of those guys and think, okay, there you go. They're the gatekeepers. That's your baseline minimum of getting into the Hall of Fame right there. Either 2 crazy Super Bowl wins or you got to be top 7 in stats across the board, I guess. Like that's the only real reason you'd have those 2 in there.
So Jet, okay, so Jet, are you saying Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers belong in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sold.
Yeah.
You're sold on both, and you got Phillip Rivers last year. I mean, you got the tail end of the career, but he's definitely a joy. I think somebody said the only thing I'm going to talk about Phillip Rivers. I don't even know what you said. The only thing you should be talking about is his shit talking, because it's actually Hall of Fame material, and that it should be okay putting him in the shrine and only playing the shit talking videos that you have of him. Davis, you're awfully quiet for a man that we've had conversations about. Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Thanks
to
for
me,
going detail,
Ernest,
Davis. So what about you, Paul?
I mean, for me and Steve, this is like one of our pet passions, like this Hall of Fame, right? Like we talk about this constantly between each other. And the reason why Eli deserves to be in is because you can't tell the story of the NFL without the 2 Super Bowl runs of his. You cannot tell the Patriots dynasty correctly without the 2 wins. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why Eli deserves to get in. Phillip Rivers is going to be one of those Hall of Famers where eventually the numbers are just going to put him in. I mean, regardless, yes, this era, but everybody's playing in this era now, and his numbers probably still won't be breached for a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he was good. He was a really good quarterback, but
but he's
both
going to
were
be
amazing. Both were great quarterbacks at certain points.
But he's going to wait a long ass time because Ben Roethlisberger is going to go in before him. Eli's going to go in before him. Brady's going to go in before him.
Drew Brees.
You know, Drew Brees is going to go in before him.
The guys who are still playing are going to go.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all those guys are going to start stacking up here within the next 5-year period where he's going to wait a long. He might even be like a what is that? Like what is that? The elderly committee or whatever. He might even be that.
Yeah, I mean, even think about like he's retiring in the same year as Drew Brees, so they both become eligible for the Hall of Fame the same year. Right. They're not going to put Drew Brees and Phil Rivers both first ballot, because putting them both in first ballot would almost be like a discredit to Drew Brees.
Yeah. And now you get to the point where every year Phillip Rivers is then your yardstick as to like, well, you know, if we're going to put this guy in this year and Phil's still on the ballot, do we consider Phil? He's that guy that's kind of the baseline, as you were talking about, but it kind of gets to the issue of how much is the Super Bowl ring valued, which is something that I think is kind of overvalued when it comes to Hall of Fame. When it comes, like, if we look at Deshaun Watson right now, right, and this is just an example. Texans went 4-12. He had a year that would be an MVP year if he was playing on a good team, or even a semi-good team. He'd be talked about. Are we going to look back on Deshaun Watson's career if he's a potential Hall of Famer and say, oh, well, he couldn't win in Houston? I mean, obviously his career's not over yet, but the point being, QB's talent and where the rest of the team and the other 21 players, how they help them get to a certain status and position does not necessarily reflect the talent of one individual.
Another thing about Rivers too is for him to win a Super Bowl, he would have had to go through either Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or both.
Or Ben Roethlisberger.
Or Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben.
Ben's got 3.
Yeah.
But then, but that's exactly why, like, he has to wait, like, to get in those, because that's exactly he couldn't beat those guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so we agree he's a Hall of Famer. We just don't agree first ballot. I mean, we all agree on that.
He's a waiter. He's a long waiter.
He's a waiter.
Rivers, waiter.
All right. Now, I think we can all agree that the Chargers made a huge mistake starting Rivers over Brees.
Well, hindsight. I mean, you can't. Hindsight's 2020, but I mean, at the time they thought he was busted. Yeah. They thought Brees had no shoulder. They sent it to the Dolphins. The Dolphins thought he had no shoulder. I don't know what I think there was
And
like a
Breeze
doctor
may
that
have
knew him.
needed
Well, they had
that.
voodoo
New
magic down in
Orleans?
New Orleans.
Yeah,
And the
I think there was, like,
Chargers
a
didn't
doctor
have-
knew him.
The Chargers
Breeze
never had their
needed
hands on
that to
Tom
fuel
Brady.
him to what he was.
Yes.
That's
And
what
I feel like
that's what kicked Drew Brees into saying, okay, maybe I don't have the biggest throwing arm, and I got to figure out how to beat everyone the other way.
well, and Matthew Stafford is the next Drew Brees. Matthew Stafford needs a change of scenery, and Matthew Stafford
Okay.
will win a Super Bowl.
That's
We're
my
gonna have-
last. That's
we're
my
gonna have this
last
discussion
question.
with him, and we're gonna have the same discussion with Matt Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm gonna give you guys one chance. I just give me one name. Who is starting under center or in shotgun in Indy come week 1 of the NFL next season? Jet, I'm starting with you.
Matthew Stafford.
Stafford, Paul,
Matthew Stafford.
Steve.
Carson Wentz, because Matt Stafford's going to take a pay cut to play in New England.
Oh, Josh,
I want to say Matthew Stafford as well.
Sam,
Indy, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Davis.
You know, I'm just gonna say this just to make Jet sad. Andrew Luck.
Oh, I wish.
Oh, wow.
Could you imagine?
Wow, what a comeback story. Ashley, who's it gonna be?
Seapoy.
I am gonna say Wentz as well.
I was leaning Carson Wentz, but I just want to be the only person to say Dak Prescott. Why not? Let's just see it. Let's just see it. Let's just see it.
Interesting.
Oh, I'd like Dak in New England too.
Oh, gosh, forget the New England take. Let's switch from the grass to the hardwood floor. Let's talk some NBA action. Big blockbuster trade we covered last week as the James Harden news happened on our show. It was the same day, and then of course the inauguration today is the same day as our show. So we picked the right day to be live. But James Harden, Davis, how many points does he have now in this game?
2 points at the half.
He's got 2 points at the half, people, but Brooklyn is leading by how much?
2 free throws, by the way.
They're losing by 2.
They're losing by 2. So the big 3 in Brooklyn isn't exactly panning out yet. I know it's the first game, but I'm all smiles. I'm all smiles. Good job, buddy. Hope you have a lot of success, asshole. All right, so let's talk NBA action. and you know, COVID's a big deal right now. Paul really wanted to go over COVID, and it is, right? The NFL never canceled a game, guys. Never canceled a game.
They never did. They really
never
canceled
canceled a game.
I don't know if you believe me or not, but they never canceled
They never
a
did.
game.
The NBA now, though, has 16 postponed games.
Not canceled.
Not canceled, but 16 postponed games. There's only so many weeks for
have you
65
seen, like,
games.
NFL writers like Schefter and shit, like tweeting out, like trying to talk shit about the
Yeah,
NBA and like
they are.
about how many games they're postponing. And I'm like, you guys played a game at Wednesday at 3:40 in the
Tuesday
afternoon.
night football.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. So guys, let's go around.
Handshakes are officially a no-go.
They're going to have more cops at NBA games to make sure there's no handshakes than they did at the Capitol 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that they're going to
Not
be doing
saying
that.
that much.
Let's talk about it though, guys. Right? So NBA, how many more postponed games before they finally establish a bubble? I mean, what is it going to take before
It's
we
coming.
establish
20.
conference bubbles?
I don't
know.
think there is going to be a bubble. It's just too.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
It's just going to be
I don't think they can
too
do
hard to get in. 75 games or 70 games or whatever it is in a bubble. That's just almost.
Well, right now
think
you got the
cancellation
G-League down
of
in-
a season, or at least a postponement, like a 2, 3 week, 4 week hiatus, and then restart before you see a bubble where you have all 30 teams in a bubble playing.
Okay.
It just
See,
Hear
Josh-
me out. Hear me out.
All right, Paul. What is it?
Las Vegas, Nevada. You take
Okay.
the NBA and you take them to Las Vegas. They have plenty of arenas. It's the NBA wants to go to Vegas. This is the perfect
and
opportunity.
I'm sure players won't want to go outside of the bubble in Vegas.
But they have no choice. But they
All
don't
the
have no
salaries
choice.
go straight into the slots.
But they don't
I've
have
said
any
it.
choice.
I've
Like,
said it
they're-
about
it's
Vegas
closed down.
before, and I will always say it. Sports should not be in Vegas. They should not be there. That is bullshit. They're gonna fix everything.
I disagree, but Like I said
Fixing
before,
things is the American way, Jet.
I think we
Yeah.
see
Kind
a,
of true.
I
Kind of
think we
true.
see a hiatus before we see a bubble.
No,
So-
So, hold on. Let me
ahead,
make my
Davis.
case real quick,
Yeah,
Josh.
go for it, David.
So you saw the increase in cases when they had this little break for Christmas and New Year's is because people went back to their families and they congregated with people inside their families, and that's how they got the more positive cases. Now there's more restrictions to where you're not even allowed to go out of your house when you're home or out of your hotel when you get there. So my thing is
Don't
there's going to be
forget the wristbands that track you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like those are working. I mean, have they worked?
No, they haven't.
Exactly. But no, I think you get a bubble before you get a hiatus.
Yeah. So you know what? I think the next step is cancellation. So I do think that we're going to hit a point where we're 40 something postponed games, and guys, we don't have enough weeks before we start going into the
Nope.
next season.
Nope. So how it's working is they've split the season in half. They did this at the beginning of the season. They split the season in half. They don't have the other half scheduled yet.
Right.
So you think they
And-
just push back until that half is
Yeah.
now just a season?
Yeah. So no. So when this full half, so when they play 36 games this half, once everyone has played 36, then they will continue with the other 36.
No, but my point is, let's say we've postponed 50 games, and now you have teams that have played 32. Some teams have played 26. Some teams have played 24. I mean, at one point, do you say cancel a second half of the season, make up those games, and those are the records? Like, and then how fair is that to teams who started off slow, or how fair is that teams who start off hot who suck? And that's gonna. So I think there's gonna be cancellations. I don't see how unless you start doing bubbles, division bubbles or conference bubbles.
I only think there will be a cancellation if the team is out of the playoff race.
Oh, that's interesting. That'd be interesting. All right. Well, let's talk about the NBA at this instance. Even going through COVID has talked expansion. And I asked you guys, give me two cities that really deserve, or give me a method of picking two cities that deserve to be part of the NBA expansion. So I'm gonna go around the room and ask your opinion on what two cities it is. Sam, I'm gonna start with you, the man with the model. Who do you have as two cities that deserve NBA teams?
So the first one would be Seattle. I think that's going to be one that we hear from a lot of people. I think Seattle would be a great place to restore the franchise and restore. I mean, a lot of basketball fans there have said they wanted it. A lot of Canadian fans who live near the border of Washington have said that they would like to see that. So I think that would be a city that could take a team. Now, if we're going to expansion teams, you should assume that they would split them up one conference each. But I've had this conversation with some people before, and I don't really know where on the East you can add another team. So what I would say, even though I know Jet's going to hate this, is that you probably put a team in Vegas, and then you move one of the teams in the Midwest that's kind of on the fringe between East and West, and you move them into the Eastern Conference.
It'd be New Orleans.
New Orleans. You move New Orleans into the East, and you add those teams to the West. So I mean, I think that's something that would definitely – I think Seattle's definitely the number one choice. But with Vegas getting a football team and kind of becoming the center for a lot of the new sports gambling industry, obviously, I think it might be a place where they explore, putting out two teams in the West.
Yeah, Raiders
I'd like
and
to
Golden
just
Knights
point out on
driving. Go ahead,
Vegas,
Jeff.
by the way, I don't hate, I get it. I get why Vegas makes sense. Totally. I just think it's sketchy as hell. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's Vegas. It's supposed to.
It's
be
no
sketchy.
more sketchy.
yeah,
no more
it's-
sketchy
If it's
before
not
they played.
sketchy,
Give
it's
the
not
team
Vegas.
a sketchy vibe. The Raiders have a sketchy vibe. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Raiders almost lost to the Jets, and everyone and their mother was saying, "Oh, it's because they're Vegas."
I mean, Raiders are the only
Throw
team
it.
that beat the Chiefs. So, I mean,
The
'Cause
signs
it's
are everywhere.
Vegas.
there you go. Josh, two cities. Hit us.
I'm only going to give you one. It's only going to be Seattle, I'm pretty sure. I like what Sam said about it's just there's no real city in the out east. Personally, for my own selfish reasons, I would like to see a team eventually go back to Vancouver, bring back the Grizzlies. But I mean, that's not in the next stage of the whatever. It could be probably 10, 15, 20 years from now. That's a possibility, but Seattle for sure.
Jet, I know you kind of talked a little bit, not Vegas, but talk to us about the two cities that think deserve it.
I'm just going to kind of echo the Seattle thing. Makes a ton of sense. But the other spot that I thought would be cool. Now, Vancouver, I think, is the most feasible option in Canada. But I think there's another spot, and that's Montreal, that could potentially have an NBA team that not only would it be nice just to have another Canadian team, but it would be an instant rivalry between Montreal and Toronto, which would be super fun. And I just think with the expansion of basketball, like I'm just talking the sport itself in the country, these last 5 to 10 years, even alone, it would really take off, and you would have that split in the country of people cheering for both teams, and it'd be very fun.
Also, it would make more sense if the Tampa Bay Rays moved to Montreal. That's what I think. It would make
I don't
sense.
want that many Canadian teams.
I also think too they're
if we're
Canada's
gonna
gonna
go with
take
all
over
these
the
Canadian
sports.
teams, that I want there to be a basketball team for the city of Quincy next to Boston, so we can have an instant rivalry between Boston and Quincy.
Never even heard of
Or,
Quincy.
or we could
Happens
have a
immediately.
Worcester
It is.
team.
Worcester,
We're going to skip
all
that
the
one.
Clark fans.
Paul, go ahead, Paul.
It's Vegas. They want it there. They want it there. They got the money to get it there. They have the arenas to get it there. It's Vegas. And then the other one, I mean, you boys right here, the 412. Come to the 412. We round us out. We need a hoop
instant rivalry with the Sixers.
We need a hoop team. We do. And the demographics has changed. Like
Another
they had one
team
in the
from
70s.
Pittsburgh I can hate.
Like they had one in the 70s. It didn't work out, but the city demographics have changed. It's younger, it's hipper, it's more tech than it is, the old steel mill, steel worker stuff. It's a different town now.
Now, which group are you in?
David,
If I had
that's a
an
good
NBA
comeback,
team-
Davis.
If I had an NBA team, I would watch it. But it's tough when I have to watch the fucking Cavaliers because I hate everything about Cleveland. So, all right, that's the only team. That's the only NBA basketball I could watch as a kid, besides the Hawks when they were on TBS for 40 games and they sucked ass too.
Oh, shout out to Will with that one, Davis.
I'm a Hawks fan now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry, buddy. Davis, your two teams, your two cities.
Well, I'm glad no one has said my two cities. They actually make a ton of sense. That's Louisville and Kentucky. They don't have a team. I think a team there would work great, especially like kind of connecting like Kentucky basketball with the NBA.
Could see it.
And then another team another city that did have a team. I said this on the Blue Collar Media Twitter page a couple weeks ago, but Kansas City, they deserve a basketball team. They're right in the middle of the country. They used to have a basketball team in the Sacramento Kings. I think Kansas City deserves it.
Nick Wright can be a fanboy.
Yeah, that's true. They'll obviously have Nick Wright.
Nick Wright.
Yeah.
Sam,
Steve-
you kind of do look like Nick Wright.
Steve,
Ouch.
oh, wow. Ow.
Ouch,
Steve,
man.
do you have two
I
real
don't know
cities
if
you want
we
to throw
can
out
keep
there?
talking after that one.
Quincy and Worcester are real cities,
Oh my
by the
gosh,
way.
forget
They
it.
are
Forget it.
actual cities, but Seattle and Vegas.
Seattle and Vegas for Steve.
But
Ashley,
you could Google that Worcester and Quincy are real cities.
I
didn't
don't
just
want
make
to.
I
those
believe you.
places
I
up.
believe you. Ashley,
I
who are
know
the two
that-
cities?
I know that Seattle and Vegas are probably the realistic ones, obviously, but before or pre-pandemic, I think Mexico City would have been a good idea.
Yeah, that was one of mine.
Because, yeah, for sure, they definitely have the means to expand the whole NBA brand. We already talked about Toronto, so I think that would have been a great option pre-pandemic, of course.
Mexico City Aztecs, it speaks for itself. I'm all about that, Ash. I agree with you. I think that would have been good, but pre-COVID, right? Right now, it'd be too much red tape and it'd be very difficult to control that border going deep down into Mexico. Now, I've said this on Twitter. I'm going to keep to it. I do think the G League should expand by 3 teams, expand into Seattle, Vegas, and throw another one out there, Vancouver, Mexico City, whatever. And we have a tournament playing. The top 2 teams can go into the NBA.
What is
And
that?
I-
Semi
Mega
semi
Bowl?
pro?
A
Like the
semi-pro,
Mega Bowl?
Is this
the
soccer?
Megala
Present
Bowl.
the alley-oop.
I like it. I
Corn
like
dogs,
it.
Jackie.
I'll
It's a
toss it near the
Megala Bowl.
hoop, and then you catch it and dunk it.
I'm telling you guys, okay, and I got so much pushback on this, but I really think if the NBA G Leagues just got unaffiliated for 3 years, just became their own program, and we expanded to those three, gives you 32 teams in the G League, right? You want to expand to 32 in the NBA, you're going to bring up 2 of them, right? Have them play in. Once they play in, it's expansion like 2K. They get their bids and they draft, whatever players. They get compensation. They get to get in the draft lottery just like every other team does. And they built their franchise. There's no reason. I think the RGV Vipers should definitely have a chance. Sponsored by Taquito Express. They should be on the jersey. I mean, that should be one of the expansion teams. They should have a chance.
This was
They should
all
have a
about the
chance.
sponsorship.
Okay,
They
we do
won
not
the
need
advertisement.
4 Texas
I
teams
thought
in
Ashley
the
It's
was
big
NBA.
going to
enough.
do the
No.
sponsor.
Matter of fact, El Paso and Austin deserve teams too. If we were
Stop
doing
it.
3, I'd
agree.
More
I'd
teams
put 'em
to
on there.
Texas.
Add more teams.
It could be
to
its own
Texas.
division at
Then
this
Then you know
point.
what? I want an
Everything's
East Adam
bigger
team.
This
in
isn't
Texas
Canada,
than
Ernest.
Everything is
Texas
bigger in
State.
Texas. Thank you, Ash. Let's talk about some people who weren't shy about their
I want a
opinion.
team in Gloucester.
These are not even real places.
Yes, they
All right.
are.
I
you're
want
not
a
gonna be able
team-
to find them by the way I pronounce
We
it.
ask Into the Lab Labsters listeners to make a consensus power ranking every week this week of the NBA season, and boy, it has not disappointed so far. These are raw reactions. The guys have not seen this list yet, so let's go down the list. We're going to start at number 1 in the West. Number 1 in the West, and by a very slim margin this time. The Los Angeles Lakers keep the throne as number 1 in the West. No surprise there. Number 2, the Clippers edged them out by 0.2, mind you. Lakers, Clippers, 1-2. Number 3 is the Jazz. That is also not faltered. That has stayed 1-2-3 with our listeners, as Jazz seem to be in the hearts of people. Suns at 4. And the Warriors continue to climb at number 5. Warriors at number 5. At number 6, the Dallas Mavericks. At 7, the Portland Trailblazers. At 8, the San Antonio Spurs. At 9, the Denver Nuggets. At 10, the Memphis Grizzlies. And those are your top 10. 11 is the Oklahoma City Thunder. 12, the Houston Rockets. 13, the Sacramento Kings. And 14, the New Orleans Pelicans. I only got rankings for those because nobody else gave a vote to any other team. So those are the 14 that we got.
You mean
So,
the
guys,
Timberwolves?
And the Timberwolves never got a vote, so they're not on the list. So wherever they're at, they're somewhere. They're 15. So let's talk about this list. Sam's been shocked. So Sam, we'll start with you. How do you feel about this list?
Happened last week. This happened last week, and even maybe the week before. Why does everybody hate the Nuggets?
The Nuggets aren't good. Jamal Murray did not perform at all last night. Okay.
Well, that is
That's the only guy that's not
pure
good.
recency
Jamal
bias
Murray has
right
not
there.
been good.
That is a
this year.
talented team.
Jamal
with a
Murray
good
has not been
coach.
good today.
Talented team with a good
this year.
coach. Jokic is playing out of his mind. 9th is ridiculous. I mean, I understand don't put him in the top 5, whatever. 9th? They are not the 9th best team in
I'm
the
right
country.
with
behind
Sam.
the Dallas Mavericks, who have like
Come
Jeff
on.
said,
The
We're
Mavericks
talking about a
suck.
team that's been bad and underwhelmed.
I do think
Well,
the
like
Nuggets are better
Dennis
than the
said,
Blazers, but
Yeah,
I
They
have
have
come
no
on.
identity right
Where are we
now.
putting
They
the
have-
Nuggets?
They don't even know what they're doing. I mean, it's good to have KP back, but I mean, they
What
still.
are they doing? I never know what they're
that game
doing.
against
Those
Toronto,
teams
they
have
didn't even know
question marks.
how to handle the
Half
ball.
of the Mavs have COVID.
Denver knows who they are.
Yeah, so I do have the Nuggets above the Mavs and the Blazers, but I do not have them above the Spurs and the Warriors right now. I think the Spurs and the Warriors are better teams right
Yeah,
now.
and those are definitely
So the Nuggets technically would be 7.
yeah.
or-
I mean,
or-
Warriors at 5 tells me everything I need to know about what NBA Twitter thinks of Steph Curry right now. The boy's hot.
He is. He
I don't
is.
even want to hear what Boston is on these.
We're
fucking
going to
Eastern
get there
Power
right now.
Rankings.
Any other kind of shockers? I know, Jed, I was going to talk to you about the Warriors. I mean, Davis, you were kind of high because the Thunder had cracked the top 10. I think they were 9 last week. Now they've dropped out of
Oh,
the
I
top
don't
10.
care.
Does that
They've
shock
gotten
you at all?
blown out the last 3 games.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
no.
care.
Not anymore.
Yeah, and
Ernest,
so
I got
we're
one that
gonna-
might surprise you here. You know
All right.
who I would have at 5th? The Memphis Grizzlies. And I'm not even joking.
Really?
They
Yeah,
outplayed
100%.
the
that
Phoenix
much.
Suns. They outplayed the Phoenix Suns the other night and did it so handily.
I've watched their last 5 games like on purpose because I thought, well, okay, they're starting to go on a bit of a roll when they're off 2, and they just kept going. And now Jaw's back, and he's just continuing it. It looks awesome over there. They're building something really cool.
I was just gonna say, like what they did without Jaw. I think they were 500 without Jaw in the lineup. That's huge. And now they got him back, and they look great. I agree.
Yeah, the Grizzlies were number 14 last week. They jumped into the top 10. So I expect that. I expect to keep going. One team that's on there, the Redemption Rockets. I'm sure we'll be talking about them for a little while. They're going to accumulate some wins. I'm very excited to talk about Rockets basketball eventually this year, because I would like to see some of that unit play. But John Wall still not playing. Surprise, surprise, and Dan House still not playing. So Rockets Suns action tonight during
What's
our
wrong with
team.
What's wrong with Wall?
Knee soreness. Apparently, they say they're thinking long term. We don't want to push them. They were playing him, average of 37 minutes.
Ernest,
They
you
shouldn't
lied
have
to
been.
me.
What's that?
You are a part of the I Hate James Harden fan club.
Yeah.
Officially, it's official now. It's official now, though.
Okay.
Well, okay. So a couple of things have happened, right? One, that very disheartening little tweet and letter he wrote to the city. That wasn't even him. Like, make a video. You make a video with the randomest shit. Make a video to the city. Second, don't worry about the franchise restaurants. It's not going to last very long. Third, this team was really good. You never give it. You stopped playing, and it was obvious because the first game back, you go triple double, and obviously you just stopped playing. So that's I don't expect him to get a standing O when he comes back in March to Houston. I'm going to be watching that game intently. Wish I could.
That guy lost 40 pounds overnight. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, I think he took off a fat suit.
Must have been a fat suit. He
been.
must have been wearing something. I've never seen that happen in 2 days.
Yeah, he's slim.
It's the biggest loser in 2 days. I
get Brooklyn wears black. I get Brooklyn wears black. Like,
no, he had a fat suit.
No, dude, that ain't
ridiculous. It's like
100% a fat suit.
Let's talk about the East before we go into our pick'em, right? So Celtics, number 1 from the East. Number 2, Bucks. Number 3, Nets. Number 4, Sixers. Number 5, Pacers. 6, Magic. 7, Knicks. 8, Heat. 9, Cavs. 10, Hawks. 11, Hornets. 12, Bulls. 13, Raptors. And then the other 2 remaining teams did not receive any votes.
Fuck the Raptors.
Raptors did make the list, though, as the Raptors actually were ranked 9th by one of our listeners. So they
Hornets
actually got a vote.
Be top 8. Hornets should be top 8.
I mean, I got a little hot take here, Ernest.
Go ahead, Paul.
The Nets should trade Kyrie Irving right now, because the games that I saw with Harden and Durant, that's all they need. I agree with that. Get rid of that cancer right now.
Go get a draft pick because you have none.
I will say Kyrie's 8 for 13 and 17 points, leading the team in scoring.
It just messes with the flow. They're losing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you sell him while he's hot, right?
Cleveland.
Sell him while he's hot. Any other teams on here kind of shocker? Like top 4 don't change. You just kind of change order a little bit. Bucks were 4 now too.
I will say
I'm amazed that the Celtics are 1 after the bad game against the Knicks, but
I'm shocked that the Knicks are 7th.
The Nets
over
the
Hornets.
1. The Celtics kept the 1 spot by 0.1. Just keep.
I didn't. We got the 1 spot last week too.
Yeah, the Celtics haven't moved.
Yeah,
I don't think
the Celtics been on top for the whole.
Yeah, Celtics have been on top for 3 weeks straight.
Because Boston stays on top, motherfucker.
Knicks moved from 10 to 7.
Davis, got a score update for me.
Well, Ben Simmons just stole the ball. Hold on, it's doing a replay, and he dunked the ball.
I got 66-65 on my screen.
Yeah,
any
66-65.
Any other comments on the East rankings?
You said Raps were 9 last week.
No, Raps were not even on they didn't receive 1 vote last week, but they got a Lapster that actually gave them a vote, so they got 13th on this list. They have 1 vote.
So they weren't on the list last week. I mean, you can say I'm not a Raptors fan anymore. Just FYI.
Did he just?
Okay, so I have 2 comments on the East. The first being the Bucks showed me a lot in that game against the Nets. I'm still very hyped on the Bucks, and I think that they could still give them a really good series. But my other comment was on the Philadelphia 76ers, and I don't want to rag on them too hard, but I did want to point out that at 9-5. Majority of their wins are coming against the Washington Wizards, the Charlotte Hornets, and then they beat the Heat twice with, I don't even know if Jimmy Butler was playing, and I know Bam was out. So, I don't know.
Well, also, most of their losses was when they didn't have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, most are starting lineup. I mean, you gotta look at both ways.
It's hard to gauge COVID teams right now.
They haven't gotten
because-
Steph Curry back yet.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
COVID-ridden teams, I mean, there's so many of them that you could say, I'm just kind of a shot in the dark. We need about 20, 30 games to really know what the talent is doing there. Ashley, you like the teams in the East?
Yeah, but you know me, Ernest, I always keep track mostly of my Western teams.
I know I didn't ask you about your Spurs. How you feel about those Spurs, Ash? You guys split with the Rockets last weekend.
I feel like we're still young, so I think where we're at right now is still a good spot to be in, given that we'll hopefully have another piece of momentum to stir up the end of whatever playoffs we have.
Love it. Love it. Ash, talk to the people about where round 1 is featured from.
Certainly. So round 1 is featured by our favorite Living Your Best Cigar Life. Check out the latest player to the game at livingmybestcigarlife.com with over 1,500 premium cigars, various size humidors, gift sets, name brand accessories, and monthly specials. Don't forget, for any orders online, to type My Best Cigar Life in all caps for a $10 discount today. And of course, don't live your life, just live your best cigar life.
That is right. Living your best cigar life. Go follow them today, people. We have them in all of our posts. Again, any Blue Collar Media Group affiliate will have them. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We have two games only that we're going to be picking. Sam, the model, is going to be giving us the breakdown on what we should be expecting right after this commercial break. All right, that's the bell. We're going to go round 2 into our NFL championship, conference championship pick'em. We are excited as we have some really good games this week, some matchups we've been waiting for. So let's get right down to it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road after a very good showing last week against those Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers finally gets a championship game at home at Lambeau Field. We are having this spread and calling this spread at 3 points, 3 points only. Green Bay favored by 3 points at home. Sam, talk to us about the model. What does it say?
All right, so this week was one of the closest weeks I've seen with the results. Basically, what I've gotten is that the model has the spread at about 1.75, which obviously isn't a spread, but I mean, that's the differential that we have it at. That really is just kind of a gray area. When you're talking about a 3-point spread, you don't really want to take it either way. For our predictions, we have Green Bay at a 53% chance, 52.5% chance to win the game. So our pick there would probably be Green Bay money line. We're fading off the spread.
All right, so Sam says Green Bay to win and not cover just for short terms of that. But right, he's saying Green Bay is going to win this game. It's going to be a close one, game-winning field goal, maybe a 2.1 point turnaround, something of that nature. All right, that's what the numbers say. Paul, what does the eye test tell you?
To me, that Tampa Bay secondary has no matchup for Devontae Adams. Vita Vea coming back for Tampa Bay is huge, though. Don't underestimate that. That man he is a big man, and they're going to miss Bakhtiari this week more than any week they probably yet. But I just like the three-headed monster they got back there running the ball right now. It's a revenge game at home, and I'm going to stick with it. I've called it for, I don't know, about the last month with my buddies and stuff. Rematch of Super Bowl I. So give me Green Bay to win this game.
Green Bay to win this game and cover that spread. He is taking Green Bay right in the hot streak there. Davis, what say you?
Well, I don't know how I think Steve can back me up here. I don't know how well Tom Brady plays in the snow.
What? He plays pretty well in the snow, I thought.
The only one.
Not too bad. Dude, he played in New England for 20 years.
Not one of those made-up cities.
Yeah.
It was like
not in Worcester.
He once threw 5 touchdowns in the first half in a blizzard in October.
Up a hill and left-handed. Talk, Davis.
He's too adapted to Florida weather.
You're right. That's why he's going to lose, is because Green Bay is going to win. Was it Sunday or Saturday? I don't know.
Sunday. Both games Sunday.
Both games Sunday.
I was going to bring up the last time Tom Brady was in the playoffs in the snow. He needed a tuck rule to help him win, but
That's not the last time he was in the playoffs in the snow, and the tuck rule was a bad rule called correctly on the field that was called against the Patriots earlier that year and stayed in the rule book for 12 years after.
Yep.
Boom. What else do you got?
Thank you, Steve. Jet,
Played
what
Indy
do you
in
got in
the
this game?
snow, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my gut tells me Packers to cover. So I'm going to go the exact opposite and say that the Buccaneers are going to win.
Tampa Bay to pull the upset, our first pick against. There goes the sweep. Steve, I'm going to you last. Ashley, who do you have in this game?
I definitely am going with my Aaron brothers for this one. I know it would be nice for Brady to win one in another team just for the sakes of it, but I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Gotcha. Josh.
I'm going with Green Bay to cover only because early on in the year, Tampa Bay hammered Green Bay 38-10. And I think this is going to be kind of a revenge game kind of for that specific one, for that specific game. Sorry.
All right, I said I'm going Steve last, so let me give you my pick. I've been so back and forth on this game. I am going to go with the discount double check at home to win this game and win by 5. Do not take anything more than that. I do not think. I think a touchdown's way too much. If you think you're going to make some money on this game, trust me, it's not going to be a blowout by any means. Tom Brady may even have the lead going into the fourth quarter, but I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at home, they're the better overall team. They've got the kicker with the leg, in my opinion, that's better. Special teams wins championships as well. Going Green Bay to win by 5 at home.
The last time they played in the snow, they scored 40 points. So
there you go. Steve, I'm going to let you wrap this one up and speak some knowledge to everybody.
I can't believe I'm actually saying this because I said for years you just don't bet against Tom Brady in the conference championship and you can bet against Aaron Rodgers in the conference championship. Well, I'm betting against Tom Brady in the conference championship.
Uno reverse card.
I think the Packers win this game. I think Paul hit the nail on the head. That secondary cannot keep up with Devontae Adams. They do not.
Man, I hope you guys are right.
That defense just can't do it. But I have to put a caveat. If the Bills win, then the Bucs will win because that will be fate of the Bills finally getting to the Super Bowl and having to get crushed by Tom Brady.
It's opposite though. So Tom Brady has to win first. So that's
I know, but I know
you're
it's
it's
already predestined. It's already predestined.
So what you're saying is that if Tampa Bay pulls the upset, put
Bills
all
are
your
going
life
to win.
savings
On the
into the Bills.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes.
Destiny.
That's a BCMG guarantee.
That's a
if you heard it,
guarantee.
if you heard it anywhere, folks, that is a blue collar media group guaranteed life savings on the Bills with the Tampa Bay win.
No, it's not blue collar. It's Steve Reisner. Guarantee.
That is the co-founder and owner.
Right. The general.
For a great low rate, you can get online.
About as blue collars you get.
We avoid the sweep pick by Jets pick, but Green Bay money line looks like a pretty good option if you're trying to stack these. Let's talk Buffalo, Kansas City. Like we said earlier, Patrick Mahomes is playing in this game. It has the exact same favorable odds, -3 Kansas City at home, hosting Bills Mafia, as all Dick's Sporting Goods and Academies have put tables everywhere next to Bills gear, which is fantastic.
Perfect.
Let's start this off with Steve. Steve, you said Green Bay's gonna win. Does that mean you're taking Kansas City in this game?
Yes, I am taking Kansas City.
That's what we figured.
And I have to say that I will watch this game.
Wow.
I will not enjoy this game. A Chiefs-Bills AFC Championship game to me is the stuff of fucking nightmare fuel. I don't know who concocted this year and this kind of thing happening, but we need to reset back to normal shit.
I mean, the only other thing that could change is that the Giants were playing Tom Brady in the NFC Championship and they beat him, and the Bills make it.
Oh my God.
Or the Chiefs make it to rub it in your face.
I still say that if we had made it as the 4 seed, that 4-5 game would have been something else. I don't know what would have happened, but something special would have gone down.
Well, I mean, here's my thing. I can usually pick a side and who I'd rather see win in a conference championship.
Bills.
I want to somehow see the AFC Championship game end with both teams losing.
Tie.
Yeah, just the winner of the NFC is the champion. Is that what you're trying to say, Steve?
Yeah, well, we just have Bucks and Packers play again a couple weeks later for the Super
Gotcha.
Bowl and just leave the
So
Bills
home
and
and home
the Chiefs to the
street.
fucking side.
Let's
Yeah.
speed round this. Let's get through this.
I'm not
Davis.
biased at all.
You already know who I got. I'm wearing blue for no reason. I mean,
He's going Buffalo, guys. He's
give
going
me
with the
Buffalo.
upset.
Buffalo.
Fucking Buffalo.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes doesn't know where he's at right now, okay? And he probably won't know where he's at on Sundays, so give me the Bills.
He's taking the Bills jet.
Patrick Mahomes is so good that he wouldn't have to know where he is because he's going to
Ooh.
dominate them anyways.
gonna
My
need Reed to
concern
help you
here
through that.
is that I'm going to accidentally Uno reverse card them by picking the Chiefs, and I really don't want to do that to them. So I'm going to take the Bills because if anybody's been keeping up with me on social media, I'm not very good at betting things. And everything that I say, the opposite happens. So
That
let's
makes
make it happen,
sense
boys.
now. That makes sense. why
You're
you
like
picked
so
both
you're like
upsets.
George Costanza. You need to do the opposite.
Yeah.
of
But what if
everything.
the universe figures out you're doing the opposite and you just screwed your
Yeah.
own team? Ashley, who
Huh?
you got?
I'm 2-0.
Universe isn't that smart?
We got our first mute of the night, people. Well, mute only came in at
Oh,
mute only came in at 2.5, so we actually
Yeah.
are almost there.
It was only
Yeah,
two
it's
and a
only
half.
2.5 tonight.
Almost. I'm
well, it
gonna
was only 2.5 because we only had
pass
fucking
along some
7 people.
of that juju that Jet just spilled. Hopefully the Chiefs do win, so that's who I'm gonna go with. Mahomes.
Ashley looking for a Green Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl. Josh, who you have?
Uno reverse card. I like that one, Jet. Kansas City Chiefs are going to dick around with the Buffalo Bills, and it's going to be too late for them in the third quarter to give me the Buffalo Bills to win outright and pray for all tables in Buffalo Sunday night.
Bills Mafia is going to be going crazy. That's true. Aaron
Dude,
Rodgers
here's the thing.
versus
They're gonna
Josh
break
Allen
the tables whether they win or lose.
in the Super Bowl. Paul, you're up next.
This Patrick Mahomes concussion is fake news. It's honestly, I've had it happen to me before. It's, a pinched nerve, and sometimes your whole body goes numb. Like, it happens. I mean, there was no head contact. But the way to beat Kansas City is the way Cleveland tried to do it. They held them to 7 possessions. They held the ball. Buffalo, the only way the Buffalo can win game against them is a track meet, and I don't want any parts of a track meet and Patrick Mahomes. Tremaine Edmonds and Tre'Davious White have to play the games of their life for Buffalo to win. They have to eliminate Kelsey and they have to eliminate Hill, and I don't see it happening. I like Kansas City to win and cover. Rematch is Super Bowl 1, baby. Back to the future.
I will say I think the Bills will try and rush the Chiefs a lot because of Mahomes.
Try to rush who?
Mahomes.
Zach Moss, fucking said Devin Singletary.
No,
like
opposite.
rush them like defense,
That,
Okay.
blitz, like
All right.
that-
All right,
no,
I'm
no,
taking-
just
Good
hold
thing
on,
to do
hold on,
against Andy Reid.
just because of Mahomes' foot injury as well. Don't forget about that.
Don't blitz Patrick Mahomes. He'll run
All
you
right.
right out of the stadium.
Sam has
He'll
to go,
just
so I'm going to make
dump
sure
it
that
right
I
off
get my
to,
pick.
He'll just dump it off to Hilaire.
All right. All right, here we go.
Fucking Kelsey, yeah.
Bills Mafia is taking this game. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
If you are a risky bettor, take Bills -3 and gets the extra money, and I think the Bills win by 5 themselves. So taking the Bills to win this game. Sam, I left you for last so we can leave logic on the table and get out of this episode. What does the model tell us about this game?
Yeah,
I
so
thought you leave me for last.
my emotional logic wanted to take Buffalo in this game. I really like what they're building over there, but what I have here is a spread of about 3.2 points, which gives us a slight advantage to cover on Kansas City, about 52.5% on the 3-point cover, which means I also think they're going to win, which we have about a 57.65% chance of. I think this is definitely going to be somewhat of a track meet. I think they're going to try to rush Patrick Mahomes, but this team is 14th in adjusted sack rate defensively. They're 19th in adjusted line yards. Their defensive line is not necessarily good at getting that push, even when they really need to. They did it against Baltimore because Baltimore's O-line has been knocked up a little bit. But I really don't think that they're going to be able to do it against Kansas City. And I think at the end of the day, every team that has tried to come up with contained strategies for one player on Kansas City, they just go to another. And lastly, what I will say is what Paul was talking about. This concussion is BS. This is a smoke screen. Las Vegas Vegas that we hate, that we keep talking about how much we hate, they are handing us this on a silver platter. The Chiefs are giving it to us from Vegas and saying, here, we're going to give you a 3-point spread because people are concerned about Patrick Mahomes, even though there's no way that the $500 million boy does not play in the AFC Championship game. This spread is going to shoot.
I only
This
get
spread is going to shoot up to 5 on Sunday.
I only get worried about him getting rattled first quarter. Like he just takes a big hit. I get worried about that.
Dude, to be honest,
I think they might do some checkdowns.
I shit on that kid. Because I like to rip on Chiefs fans, and I think they, hype him up a little too much. I don't think that kid gets rattled.
No,
I don't. I don't think he gets rattled.
I think we all. And I'll end it with this. I don't want no response, but just watching him limp, not be able to find his 2 feet afterwards. It's a massive, just a weird situation. But Ashley, I'm gonna pick on you real quick. Talk to us about where round 2 was brought to us by.
Sure. Round 2 is brought to you by our favorite Taquito Express down in beautiful Brownsville, Texas, where you can get all you can eat tacos for $7.99. Mention ITL for 10% off today.
That is beautiful, Taquito Express. We're really excited about having our live show down there. That is our episode today, guys. I'm not going to do sign-offs, but I want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody. Frostbite Sports, thank you so much for being here. Just a bit outside you as well. The Source Podcast, Sam Hiller, Slightly Biased Zone, Steve Reisner, and of course, Davis Cordova with his college show, Ashley, the sweet voice of ITL and Blue Collar Media's also co-founder, Pucklights Podcast co-host, Just Paul. You can find us in the BCMG stream team soon on our new website. Take a look, guys, www.bluecollarmg.com. If you feel like I'm rushing, I definitely am. It was a longer episode than we thought. Thank you guys for joining us. Good luck with your bets this weekend. Be safe, everybody. Have a good night.